Hey, this is Josh Pyke, and you're listening to Torrent This with Dando.
It's the Torrent This podcast. I am Dando, and today my guest is the man who not only recently released his 2014 live DVD CD box set, but is also set to undergo the third and final stretch of his Lone Wolf tour, which includes a gig in Geelong at the Barwon Club on November 22nd. He's, of course, Josh Pyke. Josh, thanks for your time, mate. How you doing?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm always good. What's been happening today? Just planning for your trip overseas, or?
Yeah, I was packing, actually, a little bit of promo and packing, and I came across a whole bunch of UK pounds and stuff, which is always handy, so I don't have to go and get money when I get there. So, yeah, but I'm all packed now.
When you're packing, do you usually discover shit that you forgot that you had from years ago?
Well, when I'm looking through I have like a file from my passports, because I'm actually a EU citizen, so I have a British passport as well. So
Cool.
I've got a file for my passports and like all this. So I found all these old Japanese yen as well from last time I was there. And it's good. I found my Opal card for the UK as well. So
Beautiful. Do you enjoy flying, or do you just try and sleep as much as you possibly can?
I don't hate it or anything. I just get it really uncomfortable. Like I actually quite enjoy the fact that it's 30 hours where I don't have anything to do except for watch movies and sleep. That's a kind of a luxury in my life. But I can't. I've never been very good at getting comfortable on flights, but I do have a fair bit of Valium, so that's going to probably help me along the way.
So you're not a first-class traveller at the moment?
No, I tried to upgrade, but I wasn't actually able to. So
Why not?
I tried to upgrade on points.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes I don't do it. I think it's crazy. Even if I could afford to spend $5,000 on, each way on business class, I don't think I could do it. I just think it seems like a waste of money.
Can't justify it, yes. I'm saying, man. Well, as I said, once you're back, you're playing a show in Geelong at the Barwon Club, November 22nd. This is the third leg of the Lone Wolf tour. Surely you must be planning a much-deserved Christmas break once it's all wrapped up?
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely the last show for the year, and so I've got booked in a little holiday at the end of this one, and then it's Christmas and New Year's and all that, and then in the New Year I'm going to have most of January and February off, and then I'll start kicking into doing album number 5.
Beautiful.
Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, are you still a big kid when it comes to Christmas time? Like, what's a normal morning for Josh Pyke on Christmas morning?
I'm not. I've never been that into Christmas except for when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
But now that I have 2 little kids, I get into it for them because they like it. But I don't really care about it. I don't believe in God, and I don't.
Yeah.
I like it because it's a family event. But
well, that's the main reason I want to have kids, just so Santa Claus can be once again part of my life.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But even my kid's like, he's 4. My oldest son is 4, and he's like, is Santa Claus real? And I'm like, sort of. He's sort of real in that it's me and your mum buying the presents for you. And, so no, he's not.
I dread that moment from when I'm a parent. I'm not a parent yet. Did your heart start racing? Like, did you just sort of go blank? Like, what do I do? What do I say here?
Yeah, I just thought, I was like, well, should I ruin this kid's,
life?
But he's a pretty sharp kid. I think he kind of understands that it's fairly unlikely, because he's asked me before, like, how is it possible that Santa Claus gets down the chimney? And I'd say, well, it's magic. It's magic. And he's like, yeah, but you've told, and he said, but you've told me before that magic isn't real, that it's, because I show him magic tricks, and I'm like, this is not actually, because I don't want to disappoint him. Then when he tries to do it, he thinks he's not magic. And I have to say, well, actually, it's not magic; it's a trick. Yeah.
So
it's a minefield, brother. It's a minefield.
Did Santa ever let you down as a kid? Like, was it something you wanted and you just didn't get it?
Not that I can remember. I do remember wanting micro machines really badly one year and not getting them. I know, actually, you know what? I remember now. I wanted micro machines, and I searched around the house and I found a couple of micro machines that. And so not only did I realise that Santa Claus wasn't real because I found the gifts that I asked for, but I also learnt the value in, waiting for a surprise, because when Christmas came, I wasn't excited at all because I knew what I was going to get.
Yeah, that sort of spoils it. Did you ever get a viewfinder? Because I know you're giving them away now as part of the live box set.
I never got one for Christmas, but the reason I thought of that viewfinder idea was actually a fan in
Adelaide.
Made one for me.
Yeah.
So I have been given one, but never for Christmas.
Was that the first time you've ever actually used a viewfinder?
No, I remember using them at friends' houses and stuff, like seeing the old Disney ones stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, we personally never had one.
How are you ever going to outdo having a personalised Viewmaster? So how can you go up from there?
I've got a few ideas. I won't disclose them, but I've got a couple of ideas that I reckon just as good.
Yeah.
Well, from my point of view anyway, maybe not from other people's. But...
Yeah. Well, earlier this year, you also once again played the White Album shows. Now, I've seen interviews where you've said you learnt a lot from people like Tim Rogers when you were doing those shows. But what would be some of the best things that you've taught a fellow musician?
That I have taught a fellow musician?
Yeah,
oh,
if any.
Gosh, that's a tough question. It's hard for me to be objective about that, but I think I would like to think that the guys and girls that have come on the road with me would have seen how I really try and have a proper engagement with the audience, particularly afterwards, going out and meeting everybody and signing stuff and just respecting them and kind of not taking for granted the fact that people have paid money to come and see me. So I don't know if people have picked that up, but that's definitely something I would encourage other artists to do more of. And regional touring is really important, and so maybe that's something that I know like guys like Jack Carty, who's toured with me a lot, has definitely gone out and pushed the regional thing as well. Whether or not I taught him that, I don't know, but he's doing it. I encourage other young musicians to do it. It's tough and it's expensive, but it's worth doing if you can break through and get people to come to your shows. Yeah,
that's it. Well, when you were first breaking out, were you one to take on advice from the already established artists, or were you just young and dumb and, screw you, I already know what I'm doing kind of attitude?
I was definitely young and dumb, but I was always really open to advice, and even more so than advice, I just really watched. I watched and learned. I remember things like going on tour with Ben Queller in the UK, and we were sharing a tour bus with him and his family, and just watching how he conducted himself with his band, and he took his whole band and crew out for dinner on one of the nights just to kind of say thank you, and made me realise that it sort of hit home that he was the boss of a small company, and it made me realise that as you progress as a musician, when you have a crew and you have band guys that you employ and everything, it made me realise that you actually need to think of yourself as the boss of a small company, and you've got to treat your employees well, and they're not just they're there to support you, but it's also their job, and they're taking pride in their job, and so you have to reward them for that properly. So that was that was one of the things, but loads of things, down to little tiny things like not drinking too much beer because it makes you really dolce on stage. And things like, there's so many things, like using Febreze, that spray on anti-smelly thing.
Yeah.
Because you don't often get a chance to use laundry on the road, so you take Febreze around and it gives you an extra four wears out of a shirt. Little things like that.
What's the most amount of time you've worn a shirt once? Like the same shirt?
I often wear the same shirt. It's almost become superstitious. If you've had a good show the night before and a particular shirt, it's like I almost feel like I want to wear that one again just to kind of keep the vibes going.
Well, your songs, they really resonate well with audiences and people. People tend to make their own meaning from your lyrics because you're never very direct with what you mean with your lyrics. But you've said a line in the songs White Lines Dancing, the one about crying in the front yard, it's about your son. Do you ever write a lyric about something in particular? You know what it means, but over time, it relates and identifies with you for something completely new in your life?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's what I love about songs, other people's songs, is that you can relate to them in a particular way and then find out that they're about something very different. And, in my own songs, a good example is the song Vibrations in Air. And when I wrote that song, when I say what I fear is all of these things I hold dear become vibrations in air, I was thinking how, maybe I was never going to get anywhere in music, but how I've written all these songs and they're never going to get anywhere. And now, having made a career out of this for the last 12 years, that song resonates with me in a different way, where it's like kind of this acknowledgement that I have gotten somewhere and made a career out of it. But even though that's true, all these things that I've made, in terms of music, they always will only be vibrations in air. It kind of makes me hit home on the things that I should hold more dear, which is, family and relationships and sort of, what you can impart on your friends and your family and stuff like that, rather than just concentrating on on what I want to leave musically. So yeah, it's things like that. I guess meanings change over time, and it's interesting that it happens with my own songs as well as other songs that I love.
So that song's sort of like your way of sticking it to you for having no confidence in yourself when you first wrote it.
Well, yeah, sort of. It's definitely like a reminder. I mean, all my songs are like that for me now, because I've written them at various points in my life, and listening back to my own songs, particularly when I'm playing them live in a solo context, it's a chance to kind of reconnect with what I was talking about at the time, and kind of observe whether or not I've moved on from that point, or whether or not I still agree with what I was saying at the time. And yeah, so it's kind of a chance to always stay focused on what you have identified as your core values and whether or not you still agree with them. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's it. All right, well, man, was there anything else you'd like to tell the listeners before I let you go?
No, it's all good. It's going to be great, though. It's going to be the best show they'll ever see in their life.
That's it. All right, well, there you go, guys. Make sure you get a copy of Josh's 2014 live box set. Features live recordings from the Lone Wolf Tour, a personalised Josh Pyke viewfinder, and much, much more. Check him out in Geelong on November 22nd at the Barwon Club. Or if you're not from Geelong, you just go to his Facebook page, facebook.com/Josh Pyke, for info on when he'll be playing a show near you next. Once again, Josh, it's been a pleasure, and look forward to seeing you in Geelong, man.
Thank you. See you later.
Catch you, mate.